Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
That's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
Nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Go for a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
This episode is brought to you by Amazon. The holidays are here, and you know what that means? It's time to get your friends and family the gifts they deserve. Take the stress out of shopping with Amazon's great deals and low prices on a huge range of items from toys to tech and much more. Whoever you're gifting for, Amazon has great prices on everything you need this holiday season. Shop early holiday deals now.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Don't Blame Me. Wow, we started this not we started this fast, but we were just talking, and now we're here. Guys, welcome. Today, our fantastic guest is a repeat guest.
I feel
Joslyn Davis.
honored. I feel so honored, and also on the real, I'm just excited to see you in
Me too.
real life and catch up. We have
Right?
so much to talk about.
I feel like I'm trying to remember. I feel like I haven't seen you in a really long time, but I've seen your face. I've been watching stuff.
I've religiously watched your stories.
Yeah,
obviously.
no, it's like with Lily. I'm like, so how many months has it been since we seen each other? I'm like, oh, just no.
I don't think I've seen you since last year, though.
No way.
Yeah, before
Really?
all the clever shutdown, duty break is gone, all the things. I don't think I've seen you since then.
No
Have
way. I don't know. I've been kind of a hermit since 2019 has been a year of being inside.
I think 2019 is a year of self-discovery.
Oh my God. Yeah. No,
That's what I'm doing.
No, same. It's a lot of figuring my life out. Well, guys, this is an advice podcast. You guys know. I don't think you were did we film the last episode?
We did.
Oh, it was
At your house.
You must have been one of the first filmed ones, yeah.
Oh, wow.
It was so fun. I still think about some of those stories, and I want to know,
Wait, I see people say that when they come back, and I never remember who called on what.
The girl who was I just moved into the dorms, and my roommate's having sex next to me. Should I just pretend like it's not happening? And I was like,
whatever happened to her?
Dude, no.
Yeah.
No, that's gnarly.
Oh God, yeah. I wonder. Maybe is she not almost done with college now, but she's in
she's
college.
Probably graduating.
She's deep
in law school. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
I think about these people.
Me too. I think about some of them.
Reach out.
I think about all of you guys all the time. But just
know you're in our thoughts and prayers.
You are. You
Salutations.
100% are. Melissa's here as always.
Hello.
Melissa's not feeling so hot today.
I'm not,
but she looks hot.
I'm powering through.
Yeah.
You look great.
You look amazing for how shitty you feel. You look good, and I wouldn't even know you feel terrible.
Thank you.
Okay, guys. Well, if you didn't know, this is an advice podcast. Now you know.
Welcome.
Oh yeah, welcome.
Oh,
Welcome. So we're gonna listen to your voicemails, and if you guys want to be on an upcoming episode, you can leave us a voicemail at 310-694-0976. And
international callers.
International callers. So sorry, everybody. Okay, and I apologize for that accent too.
That was really great. Are you working on a new accent?
Oh yeah, with all of my free time being an unemployed actor, I've just been sending a lot
You
of
just sit at home talking to yourself, doing different accents.
100%. Hello. You guys can
research.
email us an audio file at meghanpodcast@gmail.com. Okay, should we get into calls?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Oh,
that was harmonizing.
Oh, yeah.
It was beautiful.
Very tenor. Both of us very low. We kept it low. Let's do.
I have so many questions unrelated to this podcast for you.
Hi, Megan, Melissa, and potential guests. So I am 24, and I'm currently in the working world. And I have a coworker who has made it very clear to me that she doesn't like me. Long story short, I've known her for a little over a year, and she is 4 or 5 years older than me. And she's just, I don't know, she's very cold towards me. She doesn't say hello to me, but she's very warm and fuzzy to everybody else. And I'm always the bigger person. I kill her with kindness. I'm always very nice to her. I talk to her and ask questions, try to get to know her, and she hasn't reciprocated that at all, which is fine. I really honestly don't care because, at the end of the day, she's just a coworker. I'm not looking for her friendship. I just want a positive work environment. What I'm very interested though, is I follow her on Instagram, but she doesn't follow me back for whatever reason. But every time I post an Instagram story, she is one of the people that views it. So she's going onto my Instagram profile. She's looking at my stories, which I assume also means she's looking at my profile. She's basically just stalking me, which, like, I do that too. I stalk people on Instagram that I don't follow, but it's usually because I don't really have a good enough reason to follow them. Whereas with her, she has a good reason. She knows in her life every single day. So I don't know. It's starting to get under my skin a little bit because it's getting to the point that it's making the work relationship bad. Not the stalking part, but just her being like cold towards me. So I would love to hear your perspective. If you think jealousy, or if you think like there's something that I should be concerned about. I kind of like that she's looking at my stuff because it means that she's invested in me. But yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oof.
I think there's only two options.
Yeah.
This lady hates you, or she wants to have children with you.
Yeah.
There's only two options.
There's really only two. Also, oh God, she needs to get a fucking Finsta. Like,
Yeah.
That's
I have
embarrassing.
I have a Finsta.
Me too.
I
don't have one. I should get one too, so I can. But I don't. There's no one I'm really like that interested in secretly stalking.
I literally not only do I like hate stalk people, I follow those people so then I can see what they like.
Yeah. I don't
And
go
then
that
I judge
far.
them, and then I'm like, oh, like there's some people who were like defend like X, Y, and Z person, and I was like, God, I'm so happy you're like terrible. Like this is great. Like I love this.
This is very strange though, because I sometimes find myself in these situations with
No one
women.
hates you.
With women. Oh, LOL. No, people definitely hate me. But truthfully, and this is like hard to do. You have to do it like through time. I truthfully don't give any F's about what almost everyone thinks. But I'm not one of those people who's like, I don't care about what anyone thinks. Oh, I care. I care about the right people. You have to pick and choose whose opinions are meaningful to you. So is this woman in your workplace someone who you look up to in any capacity? Then maybe care about what she thinks. Do you want her role? Do you want to be like her when you grow up? Then maybe like do a little introspective looking at yourself. If not, thank you, next. Salutations. That's it.
I'm curious why has she talked to you about why she doesn't like you?
Yes.
Like if it's like a work thing, like if it's like, oh, she doesn't like how you do something work related, like if there's or if it's just like, oh, she's cold to me, I'm not finding out why. Like not that I'm saying you're bad at your job, but like maybe this woman is just like, this person isn't doing this how I would like this to be done, and like that's it, or there's like a misunderstanding. So I think you can totally ask, but I will also say you don't have to be friends with everyone you work with. Like that's not, and also maybe that woman, that's why she doesn't like, she's not friends with people that like, she doesn't want to have close personal friendships with people that she works with, and like she thinks that, not that I'm saying you're annoying, but like maybe she thinks like this is fucking annoying.
Not
like,
everyone is going to like you. I mean, I know for a fact.
Yeah, I'm cilantro. I know that.
Many people.
I am polarizing.
See, love or hate.
Yeah,
cilantro.
soapy or
I love
it.
cilantro.
Thanks
You
so
need to
much.
put that on a shirt.
Yeah.
That's
also,
amazing.
by the way, I added you. Remember we looked at our birth charts or whatever. We are so compatible.
I
It's
know.
like we're like the most compatible as friends. I was like, this makes me so happy.
beautiful.
Oh, I
It
want to
is.
do birth
It's
charting. That's amazing.
co-star, not sponsored, but be a sponsor.
Yeah. But I don't think they make any money.
No.
Oh, they do have like
They're
one that
just
you can
purists.
buy into.
You do. So yeah, I kind of think that's like, I would find out why and then just drop it. And also if you're saying like, it's just, she's just kind of like cold and rude to you, then I don't know how that affects your work day-to-day life. Like,
like, are you guys hosting a show together?
Yeah.
Like, if I was like, oh, I hate Megan.
Totally.
Like, obviously, chemistry, as far as conversation goes, is very important in a situation like this. But if you guys are doing almost anything else, it truly doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, just go in, get your work done, do your thing.
Get
and
that
I always
money.
say, like, honestly, the best thing to do is just be better than everyone else. So focus on that.
Yeah, just do your own thing. And as much as like I say, like, oh, it shouldn't affect you. Like you shouldn't think about it.
It
But, like,
does.
it totally does.
Yeah.
But if it's not a part of your job to have that kind of relationship, then just don't. And then also you might not ever find out why she doesn't like you. And so just move on from that and don't give it any time and effort, because clearly if she wants to like stalk your Instagram stories and all of that stuff, like fine. I'm not like, to be totally fucking frank with you, I think she'd probably hate stalking you.
Yeah.
I do that all the time.
Or she's looking for a reason to get you fired.
Yeah, like that's like maybe there is like a thing. Like maybe it's a total thing, and then talk to her if you like feel just like there's a misunderstanding. Talk to her about it, or if there's something that could be construed as a misunderstanding, or if there's something that if it's like work related that needs to be solved. Otherwise, just like
also just focus on what you're doing there. Focus on your work, be the bigger person, be professional. I don't know what your aspirations are, but I'm pretty sure that the more you focus on this, the less close you're going to get to actually meeting your personal goals. So don't let this like weird personal thing rob you of your success in the future, because you should really be focusing on how you can be your best. And I know that sounds like a bunch of like Tony Robbins TED Talk BS, but that kind of stuff gets said a lot because it's actually true. So I'm just saying.
Yeah, and I would unfollow her on Instagram. Like unfollow her and mute her, so you don't even see that, so it doesn't affect you. Because it's it's not. If she's not going to talk to you about her petty drama, let that be her drama.
It's just so weird that she doesn't have another account. Like that is so.
That's just like
so novice.
What she said? She's 5 years older.
She's like not even 30.
Unless you just want her to see that she's doing it. Maybe
I've done that.
Very weird.
I've done that too, where I'm like, I'll look at something on my Finsta, and then I'm like, you know what, bitch, I want you to know that I looked at this on my main, and then I'll look on my main, and I'm like,
you need to teach me your ways,
dude. It's exhausting, and I've said this before, where like I'm very much like a revenge petty, like you fuck me over, I will fuck you over twice as hard. Like I will not start it, but I will fucking end it. I will say it is exhausting because nobody cares as much as you do, and so that's the part. It's not as fulfilling as you want it to be, and I've learned that, and it's kind of just like that's also what my Finsta was for. And
my Finsta is like tasty
like
videos.
No, that's the only. That's literally all of mine is tasty videos, and then the 7 people that I fucking hate. It's the 7 people that I fucking hate, and then the people that I'm like, I don't want them to know I'm watching their Instagram story.
Yeah, sure.
But no, it's like all food videos and like satisfying.
Why
videos
are you not proud to like follow those food accounts on your?
No, I just want to be able to look on it, and so then I just scroll through, and it's just that.
Yeah, that's actually very.
It doesn't get littered with other things.
Yeah. By the way, that line you just said,
which one?
I won't start it, but I'll finish it.
Yeah.
That needs to be like the end of your next movie trailer.
Oh, I love that. Ooh,
and
oh
it
my
can
God.
be like a
I've
revenge.
got guns in that then.
Yeah, it can be like a revenge plot or something.
I don't know why I didn't scissors.
And you're like, I didn't start this, but I'm going to finish it. And then there's just like explosions.
Oh, and I jump out of a building. It's dark.
You are basically the Rock.
Behind you.
That skyscraper movie.
Oh my God. I'm into it.
I feel sorry for this woman though that called, because you can tell that she is like wanting to pursue her career, but is also sensitive, which I think should be.
I think she's
embraced.
a Cancer or a Pisces,
and that it's going to be rough, and like you might just have to learn some lessons the hard way sometimes.
Yeah, not everybody's going to like you, and I think that's a lesson that you know. But the other thing that you now need to learn is not everybody's going to like you, and you're not always going to know why. And some people might not like you for like reasons that you are actually not like that, or it's a misunderstanding, but you can't control it, and you just have to relinquish that and like let them deal with it. And trying to defend yourself and like no, I want to show you the real me, like you're gonna like me kind of thing, it's just never gonna work because people are stubborn.
One more bit of advice I would give you is like, I'm assuming this person is not your superior or boss, maybe above you at your company. Go and have a conversation with your boss when it's appropriate after you've worked there for long enough and say, just like, honestly, how am I doing on my job? Is there anything I can improve upon? This is like one of my first jobs out of college, and I'm really eager to learn and grow and do my best. I would love any feedback, and be ready for some criticism.
I think that's a really good call.
And that's like, if this person is not calling the shots in your career, like honestly, again, thank you next.
Thank you next.
You know? Salutations.
Pieces.
Pieces? Deuces.
Guys,
that's cute though. Pieces. Not the Reese's kind.
Okay. Should we go on to the next?
Yes. This is so interesting.
Also, I feel like that girl, if I worked in an office, I'd be worried that girl was calling about me. But she's like, it's not an office. It's not like this random girl who like I know is verified on Instagram looks at all of my shit. I'm like, oh no.
But here's the thing. You're like, you are very civilized. You're kind to everyone in person, I think. You don't think you're civilized? Like when you're out in the world, I think you're kind to people, even if they're not your faves. You know how to like conduct yourself in public.
If we're talking, but I've got resting confused face.
Perfect.
Which is also kind of resting bitch face. I'm not approachable. I know this mostly because all of my friends have told me
You're
that they thought I was a fucking
approachable?
raging bitch before they talked to me. I'm not very
That's
approachable.
what
Lily
most
and I
people
always
tell
just-
me too.
Yeah.
Lily and I always just say that you have like a celebrity quality.
Oh my.
And that it's because you look very
So
clean.
nice.
You
I
look
look
very,
clean?
very clean. We always
Like
say that
showered?
like you and Dana, like very beautiful people. Shout out to Dana Ward. We're like, they just look so
She looks clean. I feel like I don't look clean.
No,
at
no, no.
all.
You look very clean.
That's so nice. I'm not. I'm not clean at all. I'm dirty.
I'm so
I'm so dirty. I do need a shower.
Maybe
though.
that's why. Maybe people are like, oh, she's famous. I mean, you are.
I also don't leave my house
You
enough to
truly
really
are.
like decide whether or not people talk to me or not.
Second half of 2019 is going to be all about going outdoors.
On to the next.
Hi, Megan and guest. So I am fucking fuming right now. So a little backstory. Me and my boyfriend have been dating for 3 years. We've known each other since high school. We've known each other for 6 years. We're 22 now in a very healthy relationship. I love his family. I literally went to his sister's wedding 3 days after we started dating. And now this same sister just had a baby 2 weeks ago. And they live about an hour away, and we still haven't met the baby. And I just got a text from my boyfriend saying that his sister texted him saying, oh, you know, when my dad comes up this weekend, I want just you to come so you can at least meet the baby. So essentially, the dad's going up to drop some things off, and she wants my boyfriend to come with to meet the baby for like 15 minutes and then leave, but they don't want me there. And what we basically gathered from this is the husband doesn't want me to meet their baby, even though I'm literally a part of this family, in the Christmas card, the whole shebang. Like, they're not getting rid of me. And I have seen this kind of animosity in my own family with how my parents get along with some of my parents' siblings and their spouses. And I just can see that happening here. And I'm totally fine with that. I'm not totally fine with that happening here, but I know that's going to happen. And I just want to know, how can I kill this man with fucking kindness? I want to be so fucking kind that none of this will ever fall back on my ass. I have all the receipts in the text. I just want to make sure that I can, like, literally kill him with kindness. And so he just feels like an asshole, and so everyone thinks he's an asshole. Okay, thanks, bye.
Okay, wow. I
First
wish
of
I had
all,
your passion for
Holy
life.
fucking shit, dude.
Why does this guy not like you?
Well, also,
like, I need more information.
I also need to know, like, what like the words you use, like what we've gathered is he doesn't want. I'm like, so are there, and when you say you've got the receipts, does it literally say, I don't want your girlfriend around my baby? Like, she's a raging cunt. I hope her car gets set on fire. Like,
yeah, and like,
or
why?
were you like sick last week? And
Yes,
I don't
I was
want
gonna
you
say,
around
or-
your baby?
hand sanitizer situation.
Or is it a fact of being like, okay, I totally get that you've been dating for 3 years, you've known each other for 6, you're in the Christmas cards and everything like that, but there is something different when there's like a baby around and everything like that. Like my friend, her boyfriend, same situation. It's like same. I'm friends with the girl, all of that stuff. It took her a long time before she met the baby, mostly just because it was like the sister-in-law or whatever, like all of that stuff. She didn't want to be able, like, she didn't feel comfortable. They were really close, but she didn't want to show another like girl being like, oh, I look really like gross and ugly, and she's like, I just didn't want to like be around and like see anything like that, and like I didn't want having her look so put together and not feeling great about herself. But then also it was like she couldn't yell at her like she was really family, or like be like, you can't do this, you can do this, you can't do this, all of that. And it was like, even though that they were very, very close, it's still not family. And I don't think it's in like oh, you're not close enough for this. It's more comfortability of being able to call the shots and not feel bad of if you talk to them terribly. And also maybe the wife is dealing with postpartum depression.
Exactly.
Maybe she doesn't want to see any of that. And then also
and the husband might be just like taking the blame or looking out for her and himself. And this is what I will say, like, especially because I'm in my 30s. So a lot of my friends are like either starting to have kids or have already had kids, and my sister too. With the first kid, especially if it's like the first kid in your family, people are like freaked 100% out. Like, I've had friends, I'll come over to meet their baby, and they're like, okay, I'm gonna take you to the bathroom. Please wash your hands first, cover your whole body in hand sanitizer. Here's a coat, here's gloves. Like, people are just different. And then with the second, third kid, they're like, who cares? I just hope it survives. Did you bring me any wine? You know, and I think especially with the first kid, and I think you bring up the best point, like literally after my sister had her first kid, she became crazy. because your hormones are just like all over the place. And I don't think a lot of people talk about that. So the husband could be looking out for her, or also like, I don't know. Like, I want to know more about what's going on with y'all. Like, why is he potentially have an issue with you?
Yeah. And I just feel like, are you just assuming that? And that's really what it sounds like. And like the idea of like having receipts, like why, and you're being like, I just want to make sure this doesn't fall back on you. I don't know why it would fall back on you at all.
Does he like, do you guys have some weird history or something? I don't know.
Or is it something like the family, like the family and all that stuff, like the mom can send over like vaccine records of the last time that like the sons got back, all of those sort of things versus you and anything like that. Like, I just think, I mean, my automatic assumption is it's not the dad, that it's automatically the mom. And my assumption is that she just doesn't want it to be that many people. Like, there are some people
it's very overwhelming. I think when you first have a kid and like the adjustments and like also feeling like I'm not doing a good job and like I only want like certain people around me. And
lack
also,
of sleep.
At the end of the day too, it's like you're not technically like whatever, you're like you said, it's not like maybe she doesn't feel the same way about you that you feel about her, which I know is a really hard pill to swallow. But I would say like this is your boyfriend's thing to navigate. It's his sister. Like, why don't you talk to him about it? Really? Like, I don't know.
At the same time, I feel like he shouldn't, like, that's just like, he should tell you, but I don't want him to be an instigator of like, this should, like, no offense. Right. This isn't about you. Like, you don't have a right to be mad about this. It's not your baby. And it's like, even if it was your sister's kid and she didn't want to have anyone around yet, or she just wanted her parents around or something like that, like, that's like people, like, it's fucking call. Let's like,
but I love that she was
call.
like, I want to kill him with kindness. I think that's great.
Yeah,
do you do crafts? Can you make them a blanket? Can you do something so wildly thoughtful that they'll just be like moved also, to tears? But also genuine. You don't want to be fake.
You're gonna feel like a fucking idiot if you come in here and being like just over the top, like extra as hell, like receipts, planning, all that stuff, and then you see her and she's like, oh my gosh, like hi, like when we meet the baby, and she's like, I was just in such a bad place, like I really didn't want.
Bad.
Yeah, you're gonna be like, oh wow, why did I make this about me? Like,
just make a casserole. Like, I would say like send a bunch of food because no one wants to cook when they have a baby.
Send diapers.
Send something thoughtful. You know what I do for a lot of my girlfriends when they have kids, which I think is like a really awesome gift. They get so much freaking baby stuff. It's like, I'm the one who just pushed this watermelon out of my JJ. No one's doing anything for me. So I usually try to buy my friends like a cute sweatsuit or something in a size they currently are. Because also, by the way, after you have a baby, you're not small again. No. So nothing fits. You can't wear maternity clothes. And they're like, oh my gosh, this is the only outfit I can wear that I feel good. So do something like that for her. Yeah. Girl, call us back.
Yeah.
Let us know how it goes.
Yeah. Also, this is, okay, last thing I'll say on this.
Also, you don't have to be in the car for an hour. Score.
She might not even want the younger brother there. That might be her husband being like, no, I want my family to come and all that stuff. And maybe she had her family there. Like the wife, the mom had her family there and all that stuff. And she felt safe and comfortable with that. And then he's like, okay, now my family's turn. And she's like, well, they're not, like, it might even be that you consider yourself a part of their family. She might not feel as so included in their family that she wants a bunch of like boys around, like all of that stuff, and she's just limiting the amount of people that need to see her post all of this.
It's honestly like really freaky how small newborns are too. Like even with my sister's kids, I was in the room when she shot them out, you know?
Oh my God, was
and
that
then
scarring?
I fainted. You've heard that story. I passed out to the ground.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, they had to like resuscitate me, and then I was back in action.
At least you were at a hospital.
The nurse was like, "Oh no, we gotta faint her." And I was even like, wait, you're gonna let all these people hold your baby right now? It's so little, but it's like also like the grandparents.
I was very protective of my niece when she was born. I wouldn't let anybody. I was in the room too.
I'm like, have you washed your hands? What's going on with your health?
I held her most of the time when she was in the hospital.
Oh,
they're so tiny.
Did you see it? Did you look?
Yeah, because I studied biology and I had took a first responder class. Like I know how to deliver.
Will you
a baby.
be there?
You do, baby. Honestly,
I'm gonna make you deliver my
between your toe photo, Megan's toenail came off.
True.
And seeing a fully open vagina, I feel like maybe we should both go into the medical field.
Yeah.
Well, I
probably not.
left it.
You're like,
I was going towards it and then I ran away.
Yeah.
I was never even that close. I could barely pass science.
Yeah, I didn't take a lot of the science required for high school.
Not pass.
Yeah,
thank you.
Me. Okay, should we go on to the next?
This is fun.
So I am 26 years old and currently engaged. And my fiance is
seriously the best person I've ever known. We've been dating for almost 9 years, but the problem is his mom. She is arguably the worst person I've ever known in my life, and I'm not sure what to do about it. She is a complete narcissist and is like inherently in this weird competition with my fiance and I. She's kind of dated around, and now, we're engaged, so she is getting engaged to her boyfriend. We are looking for a house, so she's building a house with her boyfriend. There's this weird underlying tension and has been for years. I am not sure how to move forward with this, and for some reason, the idea of dealing with this for the rest of my life and bringing children into this mess is so daunting. So yeah, I just am so lost, and with our wedding a year away, I'm kind of freaking out. I contemplated calling you many times, but out of fear of her finding out about this somehow, kind of deterred me. So that being said, I finally bit the bullet and decided to reach out, and I hope that you can help me. My fiance wants no part in this. He does not support what she's doing. He also sees what she's doing. We've sought counseling together. We've sought counseling separately. So I'm just completely lost. How can I move forward with someone who's so wonderful but comes with the worst baggage ever?
I've actually been in a very similar situation when I was like early 20s. And I'm not going to lie, it was definitely a big factor for me, like kind of being like, all right, like, cause you have to decide what you do want to put up with and what you don't want to put up with. But also like, this is your fiance's family. And I feel like if you guys are going to get married and make a family together, like you need to be his number one priority. So he needs to get involved in this situation, even if that means like, hey, we're going to have new boundaries with my family. Like, maybe you spend less time with them or whatever, but this seems like something you just have to decide, make the choice. I'm willing to put up with this or I am not. And you can't control other people and what they're going to do. And it sounds like this is very strange, you know?
Yeah. So I want to touch on the therapy part because that's always my favorite go-to. You said
I think it's great that they did
it
go
separately and together, but you're not actively still going. That's really what it sounds like. And therapy's not... as somebody who's in therapy is not something you go when your relationship is good, like when it's bad and then it gets better and then you stop going. Like that's not what it's for. Like you start therapy and then you continue therapy the whole time. Like our therapist, she and her husband have been in therapy together. She said like since they like first got married.
I think that's awesome.
And they never stopped. And that's what you need to do because you guys need to figure out a game plan. And if he's not doing anything about it, that needs to come from a therapist saying, okay, so what's the game plan here? How are we going to do this? Because if you've been trying to facilitate this and he's being not an active participant in trying to find a solution to this, then I think your hesitation is not because of his family. I think your hesitation is because he's not sticking up for you and you are not feeling supported in this, which is totally valid. But I think if you are fearing a wedding coming up within a year, I think you need to like listen to that because I genuinely don't think it's about his family. It's about how he reacts to it.
100%. Because honestly, like my view of marriage is that like you guys then become each other's like family and top priority. And it doesn't sound like you're feeling that from him. And it's like, oh wait, I'm blaming it on the mom situation. But definitely go back to therapy together and separately if you feel like that's what you want to do, because I agree with you. It's something you need to be doing in all seasons of life. And this guy needs to have your back. My grandpa always said, try to get divorced before you get married.
Yeah.
Try not to get married first.
Yeah.
Get divorced first, then whatever.
Yeah, no,
you know what I mean?
think that's exactly what
as
it needs
harsh
to
as
be.
that is to say. Like, I definitely have a lot of hope for you guys that you're going to work through this.
Yeah, and I just like you said, like I've fully been there with guys where it's like very much the exact same situation and
it's like,
everything.
Do you want
like
to tongue
that.
kiss your mom? Like,
yeah,
what's going
and it's like, does your mom like what is this? It's like I forget
Does
what
her boyfriend look like you?
Yeah, a comedian says like, oh my god, like no, I want to fuck my son, like that one. My friends and I always say like you either end up with your boyfriend's mom is either is in love with her own son or wants you to be their kid, and it's either like, oh my god, I love you, like you're perfect,
Yes.
like you are the daughter I never like ever had, like oh my god, like we're best friends, like we're getting our nails done, we're shopping, and it's like overkill, or it's like fuck you are the worst, you're taking my son away from me. It's like, well, are you gonna give your son a blowjob? Like is that like how is that relationship the same?
Yeah, and I feel like after going through that when I was younger, now with Chris, my boyfriend, with his mom, she is like literally the coolest person. Like she would come and like hang out with us and be like, I have good advice for you guys.
I love
but
that.
Also very chill, very awesome. And so it does make you grateful for those relationships, and you just might have to be like, I'm never going to have that. Like,
yeah. And I think
you just might not.
And I think it's okay.
That's okay.
You just have to, like, the idea of like in-laws or anyone who's like that great relationship, I think you also need to take people at face value and for what they're worth. Like, so if she's like a narcissistic bitch, she's a narcissistic bitch.
She's
and
like
how
that
is
in
that,
all relationships. Probably. You're not special.
How do you take yourself how do you get out of the situation when that is like applicable as much as you can? So when is she the worst narcissistic bitch? When does it affect you? When does it actually hurt you? Versus when is it annoying?
She also sounds like the type of mom that will probably wear white to your wedding.
Yeah.
I went to a wedding like that once where the mom was like trying openly to outshine the bride.
Oh my gosh.
The weirdest of all time.
So dumb.
But the other person looks so stupid, and everybody can see the writing on the wall. It's very embarrassing for them.
And I think you just need to like, you just like taking every situation like as it is, like is the fact that she's getting married and like all of that stuff because you are too, like it's funny. Like think about it like that. Like you're not going to be able to fix this person of their narcissistic tendencies, but when in reality does this actually hurt you? Is it like, okay, is it terrible? Do you go to dinner and is she just like the fucking worst and talking about herself? Cool. So go to dinner with her once a month, and then the entire time just be like, don't engage in that, and just be like, okay, like let her do her thing, but don't put yourself in like the battlefield of it as often. And if your fiance is seeing that too, then you guys just
As a podcast network, our first priority has always been audio and the stories we're able to share with you. But at Realm, we also sell some pretty cool merch, and organizing that was made both possible and easy with Shopify. When you think about successful businesses like Aloe or Allbirds or Skims, an often overlooked secret is the business behind the business that makes selling and, for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. That's because nobody does selling better than Shopify. It's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret that's definitely worth talking about is that Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%. That's more happy customers and way more sales going. If you're hoping to grow your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm.
reframe the parameters and changes of everything. And then when it comes to having kids, that is, again, I think a conversation you have to have in therapy with your partner.
How involved is your mom going to be in our kid's life? Because I mean, maybe not as involved as you sort of imagined or dreamed when you were growing up. And I think you just have to totally shift your expectations. Because I know for me, like that's been something I've really had to work on, is having realistic expectations for relationships, for what people are going to give me. And honestly and truly, all you can do is control yourself and your own emotions, and also how much you let other people offend you, which is a very hard lesson to learn. Because it's like, I'm so mad at this person. I resent them. I hate them. Guess who's hurting? Just me.
Yes.
They don't even know I exist.
Yes.
They don't care.
No.
They have no idea I'm mad. at all.
I really started learning about like I put so much, like I have these, like I always had these expectations of like what other people, their relationship, what our relationships would be like, not even necessarily romantic, but just anyone
in general.
And I would put forth all of this effort and energy and time into like all of these people, and then even if it didn't work, like if I wasn't met with what I was giving, I would then give more to hopefully be like, oh yeah, this is what I want. This is what I like. This would be great. And finally, the moment I just stopped giving a shit and was like, I'm not putting the fucking effort in if I'm not getting any back, I received the exact same amount of effort. But guess I hurt so much less because I wasn't putting in all of that effort. They're going to give me the same thing that they're always going to give me. I'm just going to give them exactly that back. And it's not manipulative to try and get them to do more. But the less I gave a shit about it, it was the same situation, but I wasn't trying to like put so much into it.
And you're happier.
And I'm not disappointed. And it's like, I don't care anymore. Like, this is fine. And it's not even like oh, fuck this. You like, fuck you. I don't care. It's like, no, you know what? Some people, like the expectations that you have for them and everything like that, like in the relationships and all of that stuff and what you foresee, like relationships with people to be like when you're younger and you see all of that stuff, when they don't meet those expectations, you're the one who put those expectations there. Like, sure, yes, movies, TV, all of like the media has done all of that.
Those things influence us,
yeah,
of course.
but once you not necessarily lower your expectations, but you reframe, because like as you're saying, this is an amazing, wonderful, fantastic guy. So let's say you guys break up. If you break up, then that's also fine too. But if it's because of the family, yes, this family was going to be a part of his life and all that stuff. And if it's something that you can't deal with, for sure. But then think about it in the other sense. I don't think any situation, any relationship, everything is going to be perfect all the time.
No, and also like
someone
he didn't
else
pick
is
his
gonna
family either.
Yeah.
So like
you did another guy and then they have a terrible uncle. Like
exactly.
There's always going to be something.
Everybody's got at least one weird uncle.
Oh
Let
yeah.
me tell you.
At least one.
So don't blame him for the situation, but I do think that there is some responsibility to be taken for how your life is going to like work out that he needs to be on board with.
Because I think it's more about him and I think it's way less about the mom. I think it's way more about how you don't feel supported in that, which is completely valid and fair why you wouldn't want to be in a marriage with someone like that. So I think you guys need to go to therapy once a week and you need to talk about everything and you need to lay it all out on the table and you need to say what you want from this and really air your like that frustration. And having a third party like unbiased be able to like look at you two and like look at him and be like, it seems like she's really hurt by this and this is something that's really hard. Like what are you going to do to help contribute to this? And it's not you being the nagging bitch, which like even if you're having the same conversations, I fucking promise you, like Mats and I can have the exact same conversation over and over and over again. Then we go to therapy and have the conversation. I'm like, and suddenly you heard her, even though I've been saying the exact same thing.
Because having an outside person. Yes. So another thing I was going to recommend, since you guys are engaged, something that Chris and I did, even though we're not engaged, we're like going to like pre-dating counseling. We took this test. It's called Prepare and Enrich, and it's like a premarital thing that basically like you take this quiz. It takes freaking forever. It's like the love language quiz, but at the end, it's like, based on science, here are your problems. Here's what's, and then you go to like a therapist session. I think we went like 6 times or 8 times, and they basically teach you how to fight, like effectively, because fighting is like, you know, it's a negative word, obviously, but like you're gonna have arguments and bigger issues probably than this in your future. But I just thought it was so cool. So I've been telling everyone, it's prepared. You can Google it. It's like online.
I'll put the link in the notes.
It's pretty cool. Yeah. Have you seen it before? Have you seen that?
I hadn't heard of it, but I'm looking at it now.
Fascinating. And I think like a lot of church people do it, but it's not a religious thing. But it does bring up like, oh, I'm this religion, you're that religion. What is that going to mean for like things you would never think about in the world until you're like thinking about them on this quiz. You know, it's pretty crazy. I have hope for you though. I do too. You have a year until you're getting married. You totally have time to start working through this stuff, you know?
And I would also say listen to your gut when it comes to this. And then even if you're in therapy and you don't feel like it's working and you still have the feeling of like, oh, I don't know, you don't have to break up, but postpone the wedding. Like
That's okay.
Yeah.
Totally
I just think that even if through all of this, as much as he's a perfect guy and all of this, if it's still like you just don't feel okay with it, let yourself, because I think that's another really hard thing, that once you put the time and the effort into therapy and all this stuff, it really feels like, okay, now I have to make this work.
No,
you don't
absolutely
have to.
no. I know someone who canceled their wedding 3 weeks out, lost tens of thousands, maybe even like hundreds of thousands of dollars. best choice ever.
Yeah.
Best choice ever. They ultimately did not end up getting married, but this person is now married to someone else very happily. And I think a lot of people, it's just the courage. It's really hard to have the courage to, I mean, I can't even imagine.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to work on it now.
But we believe in you.
We do. We do.
Should they go to therapy with the mom?
I think they should go to therapy together because I honestly don't think it's about the mom. I think it's about how his reaction, I think it's about
him not having her back.
Yes. And I think that's all, like, that's a huge, I think that's probably what the huge issue is to it, because at the end of the day, it is his mom. And if he is saying one thing to you, his fiance saying one thing and supporting you and all that stuff, but then in the moment is not sticking up for you. To me, it just sounds like he's saying what you want to hear, but will not actually go up to bat for you. Versus when there's a therapist there, that you're going to find that out, as opposed to like finding out once you have kids and you're like, holy shit, I thought this was going to change. I thought you were on my side. You have someone to then, he has to be held accountable the next week. He has to go back and it's like, okay, well, you saw the mom, like, how did it go? And you're like, not well, bitch, not fucking well. And
also the mom, like, it's hard too. Cause like about the expectation thing, it's like, is she really gonna change?
Yeah.
Like, or can you change your situation and the way you handle it and like approach it? But also not a bad idea eventually if she's open to admitting that she needs to have those conversations. But
yeah, but it also might be he needs to go to like in-group therapy. And that's the thing with couples therapy is great. It's like, it's also very much like individual therapy too. Like you don't always focus on like, okay, it's like you're dealing with this one thing that's affecting your relationship. And in that, he might realize that he has some issues in his relationship with his mother. And that's where all this is, and things that you might not even know that are going to get brought up.
I honestly think it's so great. And I had never done that in a relationship until this thing I did with Chris.
Mm-hmm.
And it was amazing. And I walked away, like there's hard lessons to learn, but I think if you're in a good relationship, like at the end of the day, even though it is so hard to have those kind of conversations, I think you walk away feeling like empowered and like you've been through something, you know, in a good, and I mean that in a good, like a good way that you're learning and growing and whatnot. But it's not easy to change.
It's not at all, but it's amazing because like you can do like, like we have fixed so many of our fucking issues in like weeks. Like 2 weeks of a set, like 2 weeks.
Whereas it would have taken like 25 years.
Literally, I mean, like, so like all these issues we have for the last 3 fucking years, like we can fix in this time.
I'm so glad you called though.
Me too.
And if Donna hears this.
Yeah, fucking Donna. Ugh, Donna. What a bitch.
What a bitch.
Yeah. But
you call us and tell us your problem.
Yeah. And watch the movie Monster-in-Law. Because I think Monster-in-Law.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I auditioned
with Jane
for Monster.
Fonda?
No, I'm lying. Guys, this is not a movie. That's a movie I auditioned for. That's not
Monster-in-Law is Jane Fonda and J-Lo.
Yeah.
Oh,
and it's where she's like,
I was going to be, you were like a baby when that movie came out.
No, I auditioned for one that sounds similar.
Okay.
And then there's Monster, also a great film. Totally different thing.
Yeah. But yeah, in-laws have the reputation for being terrible because a lot of the time they are.
I'm very fortunate right now, like honestly. My family's also wild.
No,
so
your family's
my family's
the best.
They're very involved.
I'm obsessed with your
You're
family.
never getting away.
They're the best. Okay, guys, we'll take a break and we'll be right back. Okay, guys, let's get into more calls.
Let's advise some more people.
I'm an advisor with a visor.
You are.
Hi, Megan. It is 7 a.m. where I'm calling from right now, and I was about to pick up the phone last night at 3 a.m. and call you, but I decided I needed to get my shit together first. I'm 24. My boyfriend is 22. We've been dating for just over 2 years. We've just been pre-approved for a house, and we're very excited. We have a prenup done, yes. No one gets their panties in a knot, and we're excited to move on to the next chapter of our life. Yada, yada. The problem I have is his best friend. His best friend is just on a bit of a different spectrum than us. He's single, never been in a stable relationship. He doesn't have a career right now. He's working as a bartender at his parents' restaurant on weekends. He's constantly wanting to switch his mind about careers and whatnot. That's none of my business. The problem that I have is he is a very great friend, not only to my boyfriend, but to me. However, he is a bad influence in the sense that when we go out, he's let's go out, let's drink, let's get super drunk, let's do this, let's go to a club. And you literally have to say 30 times, no, I am not going. Like, we are not going. We are, like, they're too old for that. We live in Canada. We've done that when we're 18. Like, we're not doing that. They've been friends forever, and like I said, he's a really great friend. However, my problem is whenever my boyfriend gets together with him, there's been 3 episodes where they've ended up getting shit-faced on a weeknight. And my question basically is, does this need to be a red flag to me? Now, the red flag comes from episode number 3 last night, that we've been dating for over 2.5 years, and this is just like, it's not okay with me. A little bit more context, I grew up with a very alcoholic father, and unfortunately and fortunately, a trait that I brought from this is I can 100% know when anyone in my life is lying, when something is up. I just like have a third sense now about it all. So he went to hockey last night. They play on a hockey team. The hockey team has practice on Thursdays. He texts me, hey, I'm at practice, yada, yada, whatnot. He texted me at 11:45, which he usually calls me, and he was like, hey, good night. And I knew something was up. I called him. He lied to me and told me, oh, I just got home from hockey. And I said, no, you didn't. You're wasted. I can tell. Like, by an instant, I can tell you're drunk. So long story short, he actually lied to me, and we got to this massive fight about it. And he was like, yeah, okay. His friend, we'll call him Patrice, made him get super drunk last night. I know that this is on him. And realistically, it's down to his choices and not his friends. However, what do I do about this bad influence? And does this need to be a huge red flag about us moving in together? Or is this just him in his 20s having fun? Please help me. Thanks.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad no one knew me when I was 22.
Holy shit.
I was bartending at Outback Steakhouse.
I just want to say, you really hurt my
day.
feelings with your tone in this call. I feel personally fucking attacked, and I would like an apology from you, because I feel attacked.
I was very confused, but then I realized Canada, the drinking age is 18, because when you were like, we're too old for this, I was
Holy
like,
shit.
Whoa, we're on different pages. Does Patrice want to hang out with me though?
Yeah, honestly. I think the first thing I'll say is, this is, I think for you, as much as you're saying like, oh, I can tell when someone's lying and all of that stuff. People lie for a multitude of reasons. I'm not a fan of lying at all or anything like that. He's clearly was lying because you feel uncomfortable about him drinking this much. And you also feel very uncomfortable with him drinking this much because your dad was an alcoholic. And like, my therapist has this thing where she says, if it's hysterical, it's historical. And if it's real, oh my God, this moment she said it to me, I was just like,
put that on a shirt or a binder.
I know. And then she leans over and she goes, we have to talk about all of your trauma. And I'm like, oh
historical.
gosh.
Wow.
But yeah, Joe, if it's historical, I mean, if it's hysterical, it's historical. And I think, again, as somebody like, I don't drink.
Contained herein are the heresies of Radolf Buntwine, erstwhile monk turned traveling medical investigator. Join me as I study the secrets of the divine plagues and uncover the blasphemous truth that ours is not a loving God, and we are not its favored children. The heresies of Radolf Buntwine, wherever podcasts are available.
I don't love people. I don't hang out with people who get like trashed and wasted and all of those things. So
I could count the number of times I've seen you like at a bar.
Oh my God. Mott's
Maybe
has
twice
never
or
seen me wasted. Like he's never seen me wasted. He's seen me tipsy. Like I had half a glass of wine and was tipsy and he's like, you were scary. And I was like,
You're
I
a cheap
was mad
date,
at you.
though. That's exciting.
Is this at a wedding?
Yeah, we were at a wedding. We were fighting and I was like, I'll get a wine. And he goes, oh, she's so mad
He's
at
like,
me.
I'm going to have to carry her home.
Half a wine. I was so mad, threw up. It was terrible. But so I understand like not drinking and oh God, such loud noises outside.
Me.
So I understand you not drinking and all of that. I think like this isn't a red flag. I think you are bringing a lot of your previous childhood trauma to this, which is totally valid.
Right.
I do that in so many different things where I will like, again, have this hysterical reaction. And then my therapist has to be like, this isn't, your reaction is completely valid based on your history with this, but this isn't you're not reacting to this incident. You are reacting to this and then all of this backstory that you bring to it. So I think you need to realize that. And I think because of that reaction and of your no, we're not doing this. And you're using the term we so much with you and him. if he's going out with his friends and doing this, yes, guys are dumb. Yes, they can be peer pressure. If he didn't want to do it, he wouldn't do it. And I think you're kind of speaking for him when you're like, no, we don't do that. We don't do that. That's why he's hiding it from you, is because he wants to do it. He feels bad about himself that he wants to and that you're going to think less of him. So he's hiding it from you. Yeah. And so again, as somebody who like, I can totally tell when someone's lying and all of that, there's also a time to recognize, okay, I'm bringing to this my own issues. Again, very valid issues. That's also part of the reason why I don't drink, is because it's just traumatic. And it brings those issues to you that makes you feel like this makes me feel like I felt in this point. And it's not on him to make you not feel like that, because that he's not doing that. Him drinking during the week, like, that's like, I know plenty of people who have like a drink every night after dinner.
I do. I have like my mom swears it's very healthy. It is healthy. I have a glass of red wine like pretty much every single day. I'm not like wasted or anything. But I mean, to your point, I think lying is wrong. I don't care when it happens or how it happens. But ask yourself, like, why does he feel like he has to lie to you? Because clearly he doesn't want to. You're very responsible. You're getting like a prenup of some sort to buy a home. Be responsible in a way that's like introspective too. And I would say, we already told this to the last caller, I would 100% recommend you going to therapy on your own for sure. My grandma was an alcoholic. And I remember, like, I have a super open family. She was like in rehab multiple times when I was a kid. And I remember my mom picking us up from school and being like, time to go to group therapy. And I truly do think the reason that my mom and her siblings and like our family is very well adjusted and open. Well, we're open obviously in talking about it, but also because you got to do the hard work sometimes and have those conversations. And I think it's only going to be good for you. You're only 24. Like, you obviously have it together, but work through this stuff having to do with your, dad and his alcoholism, because that's not to be taken lightly. Like, that had a huge effect on you. And if you guys are planning on having a family in the future, you definitely like want to try to get rid of or deal with as much of that baggage before you bring your own family into the world. Because I definitely see how that would be a whole other layer that in the future that you haven't even probably thought about as much. And the friend has nothing to do with this, in my opinion. He's just like a bonus Jonas. He's 22. Frankie. Like, bless
Frankie
him.
Jonas. I think you're villainizing the friend because you don't want to villainize your boyfriend when neither of them are villains in the situation. And it's very natural to like be like, want to get drunk and all of that stuff. And then I also want to say, so if you don't want to be with somebody who drinks, that's also very okay. But you that needs to be your hard line. And that's not something that you need to be like
taking out on him.
Or being an ultimatum. Like, it's me, like because he doesn't have a drinking problem. I think like and also I would say like getting like, if he gets wasted one night a week with his friends and stuff, like, I mean, like when Mats and I first started dating, he had him and his friends played, oh God, it was a kickball or softball.
Or something?
Kickball or softball, one of those.
Oh gosh.
And like they like would get wasted after. And it was like a Wednesday night or whatever. And then the
dudes
like
being bros being dudes and like
stuff. Now as he's gotten older and like responsibilities with work, and also like he'll get heartburn and like all of that stuff. Exactly. He's not going to do that. But I think you're kind of reacting based on like where your lives are at, in the sense. And like, and I also, again, I was financially independent by the time that I was like 18. I lived on my own in an apartment. Like, I never went to clubs. Like, I didn't do any of this stuff. Like, very much understand
like the most put together young person.
I get that, but like mentally totally falling apart, but like aesthetically very put together. So I understand that aspect of it. And like, I definitely also like, that's when I met you and Lily, and all of my friends were older than me, because I was like, cool, you all have your lives together.
We had like jobs and doing things, and it's like,
and so that's also like, so then I don't remember if she said there was an age difference in her boyfriend.
Yeah, they're 2 years apart.
Yeah, she's 2 years older.
So that my boy Mats is 4 years older than me. I would have never even I couldn't even date a guy who was my age, because women mature faster than men, but also I was just at a different life point than even my friends my age.
For sure.
So then I was dating someone older, and even then, like, he was still kind of being like a reckless like guy, but it took him changing and wanting that for himself. And like, I've got a hard line with like, I don't date people who do hard drugs anymore. I mean, not that like, I just don't do drug addicts anymore. That's not my thing. And so if you have a hard line, then that needs to be there, but that also needs to be there when you start dating someone. And so the idea that like, if you don't want to, you don't have to date, I'm not saying you need to date an alcoholic. Don't date an alcoholic at all.
Right. Like if this person's drinking and driving and doing irresponsible things and like hooking up with people when they're wasted, totally different story.
But he just sounds
like he's living life.
Yeah.
You know, and you, in a different way than you. I'm sorry that happened to you, that your dad was an alcoholic, because like now you're having to deal with it and that just really blows. But you can't control what's already happened, and you can't control your dad, but you have total control over what's going to happen in your life. So like make it good, you know, and try to like get through this situation and just know that like, dude, it really sucks. Yeah. Like, I'm sorry that happened to you, because like, I mean, I look at my mom and what she went through and like, oh my gosh, just like so uncool. Like she didn't deserve that, you know, but she has, I think as a result of what she went through with her family, she was like, my family is not going to be like that. Like even the fact that we like have open discussions and don't sweep things under the rug or whatever, probably to a fault. Sometimes I'm like, I don't want to know this about you guys. It's just something she was just like, nope, the buck stops here. It is cyclical and it is for many people hereditary and like addictive personality traits. And it's just like, nope, we're done with that. And I give her so much credit for, I mean, what 5-year-old is like, I'm going to go to group therapy right now at my grandma's rehab center for alcoholism. You know what I mean? But I think it was really good for us. And I think then you can start a new chain and a new cycle for your future.
Yeah. So best of luck.
Yeah.
And so sorry about all of that stuff, but I don't think you need to worry about him at all.
Yeah.
Worry about you.
Yeah, girl.
Okay. On to the last call. On to the last call.
Oh my gosh.
Hi, Megan. I'm 19 and I am in my second semester of college. So this past weekend, it was my birthday weekend. It was really crazy and fun. And 2 days before my birthday, I was talking to my friends who we were going to room together next year. And I was like, hey, I'm feeling kind of left out. Like, you guys don't want to hang out with me and you're only friends with me when it's convenient to you. So I wanted to tell them that. And I have, like, pretty bad depression and anxiety. So I was like, this, like, might just be my depression and my mental health speaking for me. So I told them that, and they were, like, kind of, like, judgmental about it. So then the day after my birthday, they unadded me from the roommate group, so I'm not rooming with them next semester. And they said they didn't know that the university was going to email me that I was going to be out of their group, which is kind of BS, because of course the university would let you know if somebody unadded you from a roommate group. So I kind of had a little freak out because they didn't tell me, and I was already feeling like really left out of the group. So I've just kind of gone into like a really bad like depressive episode recently, and I'm like seeking help, but it just really hurts to know that like your best friends aren't actually your best friends. So yeah, I think advice would be super great.
Oh,
I want to give you a hug.
So I'm curious, maybe you guys have more clarity. Did she talk to her friends about this while they were like partying?
I don't know if they were drunk or not.
Because I feel like she said things got crazy, and then the day after the birthday is when she got unadded. Yeah. So I'm wondering, like,
I don't know
what she said. Well,
yeah, I'm super curious, like how it all went down and how aware they are of like some of your mental health stuff, because I think that's always like good information to have if you are a good friend, but
they're not good. They're not your friends.
They're not your friends.
They're not even not good friends.
They're definitely
not
your friends.
Your friends.
My sister, who's like almost 2 years younger than me, we were in college at the same time at different schools. Have you met my sister? Yeah. You have. So my sister Allie was in college at the same time as me, and she went to Long Beach State and I went to UCI, so like pretty close to each other. She was supposed to live with these girls, or she did live with these girls her second year in an apartment, and they were like straight up nightmare, crazy, terrible, terrible, terrible people. One of them even lived with my parents over the summer because my parents were like, oh, you don't have a place to stay. You can stay with us.
Your parents.
And I saw the writing on the wall. I was like, this girl is a mega bitch.
Yeah.
Like, she got to go. She is a snake in the grass and she is bad news. My parents were like, but whatever. I'm like, oh, you guys are such good people. Anyways, cut to, she was basically just like using my sister so she could have summer housing.
Yeah.
And then my sister lived with these girls. Straight up nightmare. Terrible, terrible people. And they really hurt her feelings a lot too. They like didn't want to live with her the next year. And I was like, girl, let me tell you, I was so wise, 2 years older. I was like, you just dodged a bullet. And it took her a long time to kind of like embrace and understand that too, because it was the truth in her case for sure. Like, these were not good people. They were actually terrible people. And she went on to, as hard as it was to find housing last minute, find a place to live, so stressful, lived with a different group of people who she is like been in all their weddings. They were at her wedding. They're all the best of friends. And it was terrible. It was the worst situation because these people were just so mean and awful, especially after our family had embraced them and done something kind for them, which I felt offended by. So come for me. You know who you are if you're listening. I will cut you. And it ended up being great. But I am glad that you are in treatment or like seeking help, because that's like the most important layer. I would say. I feel really, my heart breaks for you.
Yeah.
Sucks.
You are living my college.
You had a similar situation.
Yes. And exactly what you said about dodging a bullet. Girl, you fucking dodged a bullet, because I moved, that situation that happened to you, I moved in with those girls.
Oh,
and that was me.
Yes, that's right. And they were mean.
2 weeks in. They were like, we don't want to live with you anymore. We only started living with you so you would pay all the rest of the money. And like, we like being able to like take your stuff. And I was like, what? And I was completely like
floored.
And it was I started feeling the same way that you're describing, of feeling like they're being left out. I felt that over the summer. And again, also depressed, anxious, that I was like, this is me. Like not like, because sometimes that does happen. Like sometimes you're feeling like, oh, my depression and anxiety is making me feel like everyone hates me, but no one hates me. And so I was telling myself like, no, you're fine. Like like this is fine. They're not leaving you out. They're not being mean to you.
I'm overreacting or something.
Exactly. Yeah. And I moved in with them, and it was literally the first week, but it was the second my parents drove away. We were all supposed to go get dinner. I'm like, they were like so nice in front of my parents. I felt a little weird because I was like,
that's slimy.
What's happening? And they were like so sweet. And the second my parents left, like I went downstairs. We were all going to go to dinner, and like my parents were like, oh, what are you guys' plans? And they're like, oh, we're all going to go to dinner. I like get downstairs, and they had already left and they had gone. And I was like, what? And it was just immediate. And it was
so
those two, and then me. And it was like I spent weeks desperately trying to make them like me. And it was so dumb, because it was like, these are people who are treating me like shit. And now I'm bending over backwards to try and convince them to like still not even not treat me like shit, but just let me still hang around and like just take them treating me like shit. So as much as this totally fucking sucks, you did dodge a bullet. Like,
for sure.
This would have been so fucking terrible. First of all,
I'm so glad you didn't move in with them. Ew.
3 girls should never live together. 3 is just a terrible fucking number. It's always 2 against 1. It's not like, never do that. In general, don't live with friends. These were girls that I was had become friends with freshman year, and I had originally been like, oh, I wish we had lived together freshman year. I fucking loved my freshman year roommate. She was a fucking random person,
and probably has like her own life. You're not like with each other 24/7. Like, I've even said this so many times. Out of like all of my very close friends, there's very few that I have the chemistry to live with, to travel with. Like, that's a whole other thing. And I think that's totally okay. But I think, honestly, I think you are going to be so much happier, even though you're really upset right now, which I think is so valid.
Yeah.
That's just mean that they didn't tell you to your face and you had to find out through an email. That is cowardly, immature, and not what you need in your life.
No. And these people, I think I went through a string of like terrible friends, picking terrible friends, and I was just picking less terrible friends. And I think the thing that I learned through all of it is I would rather be, and as someone who's like being depressed, being alone when you're depressed is like not a good thing. But I would have rather, I got to this place where I was like, I would literally rather have no fucking friends than get in this situation with somebody else again. So I'm just going to be fine. I'm going to have no friends and I'm going to deal with that. And then if someone comes in, they have to be so fucking great, but I'm not going to sacrifice the idea of having friends because I wasn't having friends. Right. I was just having people in my proximity that I was calling my friend because I thought I needed to have friends. But I'm like, but you're not, friendship is a relationship. And if that relationship isn't there, they're just fucking people. Mm-hmm. And that's the part that you like, you're going to realize once you like, I think it's fantastic that you're getting treatment and taking care of yourself and focusing on all of that. And I think through that, you're also going to realize that I bet you that the feeling of feeling left out, you've been feeling it for a while. And it took until it was hard for you to kind of ignore it. Or maybe they were saying things in front of other people that like, it got under your skin immediately. Yeah. Like it didn't get under skin immediately. Like it had been there for a while. And I think you're going to realize through all of that, like, that's not any fault of your own, but you're not going to let people like that into your life again.
And I think we live in this world where like, and listen, I work in media. I love Taylor Swift. She has her squad, but we're served these ideas in the media. And like, I mean, I'm one of the ones serving it out there is like, I have my whole squad of 15 people. You don't need 15 friends. Your woof, I call it your woof pack. Your woof pack could be you and one other person. Yeah. And that is really all you need. You don't need 30 friends surrounding you all the time because honestly, you can't be close friends with 30 people anyways. Like those are shallow friendships. You just need like one or two people who really care about you. And that's it. That's all you need in life. So like, don't feel pressure by society or media to be like, I need like a whole sorority house of people around you. Guess what? All the people in those houses, they don't all like each other anyways. No. I can tell you that from personal experience, you know? And you know, I think it's more important that you have just like a few solid people around you. And that could be like a family member, even that's a friend to you or whatever. And people who care about your well-being in a real way, you know, not in like a fictitious, fabricated kind of way.
And being in college, and I don't know if you're far away from family or if you have any good high school friends or other friends that like, or cousins or anyone that you're close with, that's what I really did once. Cause I mean, I ended up dropping out, which I'm like, that's also because I lived with them and it was like just so terrible. But I really fostered long distance friendships with a lot of my friends of like my like high school friends
Sydney,
from back
obviously,
home.
who I've never met, but I definitely know.
She's an icon.
What an icon.
She's
what a curly haired queen.
Literally, she is.
She really
and so
is.
we had we have gotten very good at being long distance friends. And I think and I don't want to like say like, oh, talk to your high school friends because I don't want to be insensitive if you didn't have a great high school experience and you didn't come away with some great friends. Because that's super normal too. So normal. Like I think usually people either have like a group of friends that they have through their life through college or from high school. I don't know anyone who has like all of my high school friends and all of my college friends. We're all like the closest and we're all best friends. Like that doesn't, you usually like one was more successful than the other when it comes like who you walk away with. And so you might not have had those friends in high school, but that means you're going to like make those friends in college. But I think it's so much more important to, even if you can't physically surround yourself with people who support you and care about you and like care about your well-being and love you, having those people via text, via phone calls. Like I had a couple of friends of mine who we were friends in high school. We weren't even that close, but they also had really shitty college experiences and they were miserable. So like every single fucking day we would FaceTime and eat lunch together and being like, okay, you're in Colorado and you hate college. Like I'm in California.
That's like the beautiful thing about this world that we live in now and technology is that it can be used in a positive way. And so maybe that's something that you can embrace. Also, something else is like a lot of people are like, you know, it's hard to make friends as adults. And I do agree for sure. But so many of my closest friends I have met as an adult through shared passions, AKA like my job. Yeah. And I've been super blown away by that. So maybe like once you feel ready, either find like a club or an organization on campus that is like in line with something you're passionate about, or like get a job. When I was bartending, I met so many cool people. I'm not really in touch with any of them right now, but actually me and my sister worked at the same, we worked at Outback Steakhouse together and we had Bloomin' Onion, y'all. Oh my gosh, it's so unhealthy, but so good. And yeah, we met so many people that we hung out with in our 20s and just had like a great time with. And there's always time to make new friends.
Yeah. So now it's time for
Don't Blame Them.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So this is where people will call in, listeners will call in and give their own advice if they've got personal experience with like a call.
Oh,
so
neat.
So if someone had like signed a prenup and like,
oh my gosh,
they were drinking.
My tax
at 22.
guy was like, get a prenup.
Yeah.
I'm like, how much stuff do you think I have? I like don't really have very much.
Can you get married?
Hopefully soon.
Oh my God.
Hopefully, like, you know,
you're gonna just
soon.
I know.
Gotta get going on Megan and Lily, my twins.
Yes, you have twins named Megan and
twin
Lily. I know for a
babies.
fucking fact, I'm just gonna get like a text message or an email from you,
And I'll be like,
"Hey guys, we're having a barbecue. We'd love you to come by." And
That's the plan. Everybody better show up. If you're
Never,
invited, you better
ever
show
fucking
up.
like be like, "Oh, I don't want to go," because I'm like, you
go.
could honestly convince me to do so many social things because everything I'd be like, "Jocelyn might be getting married. I have to go. She might be getting married."
Now you know
That's the
that.
key.
Now you know.
Don't
the
tell
key.
Kyle. Don't tell Kyle. He wants me to be social. He's like, "It's your comeback." I was like, "Fuck you." First of all, if I left, I'm not ready to come back. Okay, so what episode is this from?
This is from the episode with Kelsey Dara. That's how you say her name.
Oh
right?
yeah, Kelsey. I love Kelsey
Because I asked her 15 times. I was
know.
like, "Tell me how to say it."
I really love her. She's
I love
a
her.
bevy of information and advice.
She is. She's
really
like
is.
Lily, but like a Leo, like a Leo version of Lily. She's like me.
I really liked her.
Like if me and Lily had a baby. She's so funny.
Legitimately.
Yeah.
Like she has real skills.
Yeah, she does.
As I drool.
Skills.
I like her.
And so the original caller had called because her grandfather had been murdered.
Oh God.
And her aunt, who did not get along with her grandfather, was like taking fame with his death.
Stop.
Yeah. And so this is someone calling with a similar experience.
What the
This
fuck
happens
is
more
wrong
than
with
once?
people? I'm still waiting for the one. I want someone to call in with similar advice for the person who accidentally murdered someone else.
Hi, Megan. This is for feedback with the episode with Kelsey and the girl whose grandpa just passed away and her aunt was kind of being a bitch about it. I'm 21 and I recently just lost my mom, and my aunt, who was her twin sister, did the same exact thing, posted on social media, kind of used my mom's death as like her way into fame, which sounds shitty, but it was true. The way I dealt with it, and it really pissed me off, but the way I dealt with it was kind of looking at it through my mom's perspective and knowing that if I made a scene at her funeral or said anything about it, it would have embarrassed my mom and it wouldn't be something my mom would have done. So that's why I kind of kept my mouth shut. Finally, at one point I did say something, but the perspective, the way I looked at it was just like,
what's up, everyone? It's Noah Daniels.
Hey, y'all, I'm JJ.
Hey, guys, it's Kat.
And we're your hosts of the Real Hauntings podcast, where we bring on guests who share their first-hand encounter ghost stories and supernatural experiences. Now on to the trailer.
I've been warned to not tell this story, but I think because of the way it ends, it's okay to tell this story, because some people say that with certain entities, to like speak of them or talk about them or in any way like portray them as powerful will attract them to other people. The creepiest thing about it to me is a lot of times it would wait for me to notice it. Like it would just lay its arm out like this, and then I'd be like, where is it? Where is it? And then I'd see it, and then it would just slither back.
For more information on the Real Hauntings, Real Ghost Stories podcast, make sure you check out real.fm to learn more about our podcast and many other amazing podcasts.
you know, I'm here to remember their memory, and if this person wants to use it as fame, at the end of the day, they'll get what's coming for them. And so I'm just kind of looking at it with respect for the person who passed away and just with love. I'm really sorry for her loss, and just I get that it's really frustrating, but it's good to be the bigger person and not stoop down to their level, because if they're using someone's death for fame, they're the shitty person. So I just would recommend not stooping down to the level. Thanks so much. Love the podcast. Have a good day.
Wow.
Oh my God.
It's very mature.
So mature.
Wow.
First of all, so sorry for your loss. That's, I mean, yeah.
I was like, how can I get revenge?
Yeah, there's two other people who have been like this. This is crazy to me. This is like,
we had a few calls about this. Yeah.
Wow.
Really? That is strange, though. And you do see that on social media,
Yeah.
specifically with old people on Facebook and some of the stuff they post. I'm just like, this is not appropriate.
Well, yeah, and I had a friend. I had a friend pass away my my junior year of high school, and like we were like satellite friend, like we were friendly, very small school, and like we all did theater together. But I really knew him from being one of my best friends. It was her boyfriend, and he passed away suddenly. And the amount of fucking people who like came out of the woodwork, were like, oh my god, I miss like blah blah blah, and like his ex, like his ex, she was so fucking funny about it. She would just like turn to me and just be like, he fucking hated this person. This person's posting all over Facebook. I want to fucking kill him.
Oh,
I was like,
miss my
just
friend.
I was like, think about how funny he thinks this is. Think about how much he is laughing that this person who he fucking hates is talking about how much of a great relationship they had when they had no idea the entire time he was just fucking with them. Like he was just making fun of him. Like, come on.
It's so crazy.
Yeah.
It's really crazy how people come out of the woodwork. It's truly disgusting. I had a situation with my parents a few years ago, and they got into an accident. It was crazy. And some of the people that showed up to the hospital.
Fuck?
Oh yeah. And I was in charge. I'm the
idea.
captain now. So we had people showing up to the hospital to visit them. And I was like, oh no, I know why you're here. You feel guilty for all the shitty things you've done to my parents. I'm like, you do not gain entrance. I was like, you can go hang out in the lobby if you want. And there was this one woman I'll never forget. I was like, I know what you did. She stole like $15,000 from my parents in the 80s when $15,000 might as well have been $2 million. And she shows up and she was like, oh, I'm here to see your mom. And I was like, she doesn't need to see you though.
Ooh.
I'm so sorry. She came all the way from Vegas. And I was like, I know all about you. Thanks for driving here. You're welcome to grab a slice of cheesecake in the cafeteria and see yourself out. And my parents were like, you are savage. And I was like, yeah, of course. I'm like, ew. I'm like, it's self-serving. Like, it's trying to like gain any sort of attention or peace for yourself in light of someone's death. No, go away.
No.
And I'm glad to be your stand-in daughter if you need, because that kind of stuff really pisses me off.
That was amazing. I mean, they feel like you just need to call Joss up. She'll do
I
it
was
for
just
you.
like, I remember telling this woman, she was like, I really need to see your mom. I was like, she does not need to see you. So thank you. Goodbye. Wow. It was really fun. It was like the only thing I've done in my life that's like, edgy.
Yeah. I love that. Also including like a soft voice and saying thank you.
And people get confused, by the way, when you do a compliment sandwich. That's what I like to do. Where you're like, it's so lovely to see you. You're never, ever coming inside. Best of luck with your life. They're like, wait, what just happened? Because you do like two compliments in the middle of. I like a compliment sandwich.
We used to do a compliment sandwich when we were peer grading each other's papers.
That's cute.
Yeah. A couple of people didn't do it for me and then they got in trouble. And I was like, you didn't give me a compliment sandwich. You just told me I was stupid and I get it. I didn't do anything right. But you have to at least tell me my handwriting is nice. Like, fuck off.
Great cursive.
Literally.
People don't do cursive
anymore. I can't
anymore.
write in cursive, so definitely.
I can't even hold a pencil. Are you kidding me?
Same.
It's just like
same.
It's bad. Kyle's sitting over there with his pencil.
Excusez-moi. Look at
Button
that
your
pencil
shirt
game.
up.
I like
naked.
it. It's lumbersexual. I like it.
Oh, God. Well, I'm so sorry that this has happened to like more. I mean, I'm sorry this happens to anyone, but the fact that like I think hopefully now even like you, I don't think I did. Was it? You said multiple people have called in.
That is
with
so sad.
Similar stuff to this. Yeah, but I think she's right in the that way of going about it, of being like not making, like knowing what the person would have wanted, whether that's like, oh, don't give them the time of day in that way, or also maybe they think it's fucking hilarious and of being like, how fucking funny is this?
True.
So
yeah,
I think and you just get to know, and people always get what's fucking coming to them in the end.
For sure.
Always fucking get it.
Yep.
But
Karma.
like, I just want a front row seat to it, so I very much understand when it's like, but I want to watch it happen.
I know, same.
Yeah.
Oh well, you have the rest of your life to see what happens. Very exciting.
Very true. Well, that's it for our episode.
What a journey! This is so fun. I love this show.
I'm just gonna make you come back again.
I
and
would
again and again.
love to. I would love to.
And now,
congrats on everything that's going on with your life. By the way,
what's going on with my life?
Megan has a book coming out.
Yeah,
you went to the gynecologist. That was huge. I thought that was really powerful.
Yeah,
you have this podcast. You're selling cute shirts.
Wow.
You have an amazing aesthetic. What was that? Her toenail came off. She saved it. It's going in a shadow box. Very proud of you in 2019.
I have very thick nails, by the way.
You're doing well. You're doing great, sweetie.
Wow, thanks. Tell it to my therapist. She's like,
I will.
She's working. She's on a journey. Like every time I was this journey, I'm like, can we not use that word? It sounds like The Bachelor.
I know. I've been using Journey a lot
We're
this
on a
year.
journey.
I'm on a
Speaking
journey.
of journeys, plug all of the amazing shit that you're doing.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, What am I doing? So I started my very own YouTube channel for the first time in my life.
I'm obsessed with
I have my own channel. It is a journey, to be totally honest. It's been really fun because I'm so used to like creating videos for Clever, and that's awesome in its own way. It's been like, that was a cool journey. But now being able to just like be like, I'm going to make this video and see what happens and see people's reactions is so fulfilling and so much different and so cool, and been just a really exciting new chapter. And I'm excited to see where it goes. I need to get Megan Rinks on my channel. Megan Rosette needs to come on my channel.
Oh my God, she's ready. I'll put a prosthetic nose on.
I would love that.
You literally made me want to Marie Kondo my closet. I didn't. I instead just watched you do it.
Great. I got rid of so much stuff. By the way, 2 different TV shows in Japan, like the Good Morning Americas of Japan, have played my video.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. And I was like, where are the links? They're like, oh no, we're just like television shows. We don't, because I guess like it's one of the biggest Marie Kondo videos on YouTube. But it worked. I got rid of so much stuff.
I recognized a lot of the things that you were trying on getting rid of. I was like, I've seen that hang in your old fucking office.
Yep, but some things I kept.
Put it over jeans.
Yep.
All the dresses over jeans.
All the time. So yeah, I'm really excited about that and new opportunities and new exciting things. And I think 2019 is going to be a good year. A lot of learning. I found out I have curly hair, which has been a whole exciting thing.
We knew you had curly hair.
We knew, but we didn't know that it could look.
We didn't know it could look like this.
I mean, like not Monica on vacation 24/7. Yeah. And that's just one small aspect of my journey. So come join the party.
Yeah. If you guys want to call in for an upcoming episode, give us a phone call at 310-694-0976. And you can send us an audio message if you're an international listener to meghanpodcast@gmail.com.
Can they send a text message?
No, they can't send a text message. They can send an audio file. Just not a text message. Fuck, I'm so sorry, everyone.
And it sounds like tit message.
I know. The more
you can't send that if you want to.
Text message.
Boob art. That would be a fun thing to do. Take our boobs, cover them, and paint things with them.
Boob art. I love that.
That just really inspired
what's
me.
It called? You know the photo booth at prom. Me and my friends, we all like did like 4 photos. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're all staring at straight face. And then the last one, we all just like took our dresses off, and like so did the boys. And so everybody's just like shirtless, and like it's really funny.
Oh my gosh! I've also seen your car tour. Some of the raw footage from that. I think Lily got that. You're like literally nude the entire time.
Lilia said, she's like, dude, never. Not that I would fuck Lily over for anything, but Lily's like, you have how many fucking naked videos I have of you? I was like, delete them. Like, what are you doing?
She's like, I'm just holding on to it,
just in case you like blow up famous and I just sell this shit. Like, fuck off.
Just release your own nudes, and then it'll be perfect.
I've accidentally did that one time. I did a video where I was getting a spray tan, and I blurred it, but then I didn't blur my reflection.
No, I feel like there was a Clever video where your boob showed, and we had to like edit it or something.
Yeah, Lily, no, it wasn't even like my boob showed. Like I didn't know you guys were filming. And
it
was
wasn't
like,
Coachella.
Hey, and I was like, what's up? And I flashed Lily, and Lily's like, well, I assumed if you flashed me in Coachella, you're cool with flashing the internet. I was like, no, I'm not. Like, I'm not cool with flashing the internet.
No.
Yeah.
Anyways, you are. Oh my gosh. Prove it.
Just prove it. Take your top off.
That would be inappropriate.
Well, if you guys are, if you're watching this on YouTube, hey, what's up? Cool.
Hey.
Go to the Apple Podcast app. You can subscribe to us there and listen to it. And if you're listening, go check out the YouTube video and find out anywhere else that you can listen and watch us on don'tblameme.show and our Instagram, don'tblamemepod. And Melissa and I, our socials will be listed down below as well. And yeah, guys, we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Don't Blame Me is a production by me. Executive produced by Melissa DeMonts. Camera operator Amanda Lechner. Production assistance by Julie Carley. And music by Ryan Hunter and Giacomo Picasso, part of the HerPod Network.
Listening to a podcast should be time well spent, and I promise it will be if you'll give this podcast a try. It's called Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and in every episode, I talk with leading experts on topics I know you will find fascinating. From why people can't keep secrets, what your favorite music says about you, why your pet acts in strange ways, and so much more. Something You Should Know is designed to give you information you can use in your life and give you great intel that you can share with others. I'm told it's a binge-worthy podcast. And with over 1,000 episodes, there's a lot to binge on. Something You Should Know has been ranked in the top of the Apple Podcast charts consistently for a long time. I know you're going to like this. I just need to get you to try it. Something You Should Know. It's available wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, a founder of the Go Kid Go network. At Go Kid Go, putting kids first is at the heart of every show that we produce. That's why we're so excited to introduce a brand new show to our network called The Search for the Silver Lining, a fantasy adventure series about a spirited young girl named Isla who time travels to the mythical land of Camelot. Look for The Search for the Silver Lining on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.